Hello, everybody. My name is Isor, and welcome to another edition of Fortnite Pacifism Story Time. Today we are continuing Shoji Morimoto's Rental Person Who Does Nothing, a memoir. Last time we started and completed Chapter 1, and today I am planning to do Chapter 2. I really don't know if I'm going to be able to finish an entire chapter this time. Mainly because my throat is a little raspy as it is right now. And I'm just a little skeptical that I'll have the energy and that I'll have the throat capacity. Maybe, maybe pick some better wording there. I worry about having the capabilities to read an entire chapter without it wreaking havoc on my vocal cords. So there's a lot to speculate on whether we'll make any progress today. But I am happy to be here. I'm happy to be streaming. I am happy to be here with all of you today. And I am excited to keep reading. It may sound like I'm being a little speaky, like I'm trying to rally up a cry or something. But I genuinely am very excited to be reading this today. One of the main reasons why despite this sort of concern that I'm going to even be able to read the entire chapter, I just really want to read this book, and I really want to just keep the ball rolling right now. So this is me doing that. If I don't finish the entire thing, that's a-okay with me. But I am floored. I'm excited. I am ecstatic to be reading this book here with you all today. As you can see in Fortnite, we got a little Hatsune Miku. Very excited. Big Miku fan. I've never listened to any of her songs, but I am a big Miku fan. That's kind of sarcastic. Oh, I have licensed music on. Good thing I figured that out now. So, the first stream was the first stream. It was a bit of a test run. And one of the biggest changes that I made going into this run, this attempt, I don't know why I'm calling it an attempt, I should call it a session. One of the biggest changes I made was the fact that I went and turned down my game audio. I went and turned down my game audio quite a bit because I want to make sure that my voice is in the forefront, because I thought I had done that. I thought I had done that going into that stream, but I hadn't done it enough. So here I am doing it for realsies this time. I turned it down by, it was -12. Now it's -18. Let's do -20. I'm still having some issues with my mic, and I am 90% sure that those issues are still going to persist in this session. My apologies. My recording location isn't the best. My mic isn't the best. I'm sure some of the things on my end in terms of filtering isn't that great either. But hey, we're trying, chat. And I would rather make a flawed product than no product at all. That's what the biggest thing about this is. It's supposed to be something I'm doing for me. So, I'm doing it for me. Part of me wonders if I should turn off my noise gate on my microphone. You know what? Let's turn off the noise gate on my microphone. And more importantly, let's get into this. Ooh, the queue times are going to be tremendous today, I assure you. Do, 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 do. So if you see this here, this is my uh, fishing game that, I'm going to be honest, I drank some margarita a few days ago, and then I woke up with that Steam game in my library. It's a game where if you're into the twitch.tv chat, I don't even remember what my username is, it allows you to fish. So those of you in the chat, feel free to let her rip, cast a line. And those of you watching this later on YouTube, should be here live. If you're here live, you could cast a line. Ooh. Yeah, I did test it out. I know that it works. The command should be !fish. So it'll be epic. Okie dokie. Chapter 2. Showing no individuality. It's my second year at this company, which I joined when I graduated from university. I don't get on with my boss, and sometimes we argue. The atmosphere is tense, and I feel a bit scared about going to work tomorrow morning. If possible, I'd like someone to travel with me. Would that be possible? Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. A request to accompany someone on their morning commute. The client has had a bad relationship with her boss and is scared to go to work. She developed a stomachache after a terrible meeting. Having dropped out of a job myself after 3 years, I felt very sympathetic and got up early to join her. Companies can be terrible places. It makes no difference whether you're here or not. I can't tell whether you're alive or dead. You're a permanent vacancy. These are the kind of things my boss used to say to me. Okay. Great start. Already floored, chat. Already floored. And this is where we really set up what I discovered to be the two most important things about this stream. That is relearning how to read words. And then 2, trying to find a good, comfortable spot in my seat where I can read without being too far away from my Yeti mic. These are the kind of things my boss used to say to me. It was his way of mocking me, I suppose. It irritated him that I didn't have a strong personality, that I had no influence on those around me. I guess he wanted me to be a positive force in the company, a dynamo who made things go well, a strong leader. But, as I said earlier, I'm very bad at communicating with people in a fixed community, like a company. When going out for drinks after work, I'd often sit in silence, not speaking to anyone, and then I'd be teased about it. Perhaps I was supposed to make my presence felt by building a warm atmosphere, refilling people's drinks, or doing something to bring the boss and his younger colleagues together. I think people who can't make this kind of contribution often have a handicap in life, but for rental person, it's a plus. And I think that in its very own I think that in its own very different way, Do Nothing Rental provides something positive to quite a lot of people. Take the accompany request at the start of the chapter. The client wants to do something, and I just go along. No deep commitment is expected, and no personality required. It's the complete opposite of what was expected of me at my previous company. It's funny that someone like Rental Person should be in demand. I suppose you could say my lack of individuality has become my product. But paradoxically, you could also say that this do-nothing service has given me more individuality. Alright. Don't want to keep swimming too out of the circle. So here's what we'll do. I guess we're getting into the lovely world of swimming. Simply speaking, I suppose individuality can be divided into two sets of qualities. Those that you have naturally, your face, body, voice, and so on, and those that you acquire. special talents, communication skills, individuality is generally thought to be a positive thing. But it's a very vague and abstract idea. It exists in a context of comparison. It's a relative value that emerges only when a person is part of a group. Nobody wants me to be individual when I'm rental person. Take the example of my very first request. Opened envelope representing that of a message. Hello. I saw your tweet, so I'd send you a DM. Okay, guys, I am sorry for all of the fibs that I appear to be making today. Um, I think I should have warmed up. I should have warmed up my speaking because I am misreading a lot of things. Just part of the magic of the live performance. Let's backtrack a little. Open envelope representing a message. Hello. I saw your tweet, so I thought I'd send you a DM. Would you meet me in about an hour at Kokubunji Station? Kokubunji Station. I'd like I'd like you to come for a walk and have your picture taken. It would take 2 or 3 hours, or until you've had enough. I'd like you to carry a balloon. Apart from that, you'd just be walking, talking, standing still, etc. You wouldn't have to do anything else. Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. My first client asked me to hold a balloon and have my photo taken. They also asked me to do some Instagram promotion. It was fun walking with the balloon from Kokubunji to West Kokubunji. I kept the balloon and was quite unpopular on the commuter train back. I enjoyed that. If I had been a very individual person, this request might not have worked. I might not have managed to do what the client wanted. It was a school graduation project, and the star of the piece was the balloon. So I had to be someone who wouldn't take attention away from the balloon. Being so ordinary, it was easy for me to take the role of person with the balloon. Somebody once asked me to join them in a Purikura photo. Purikura photo. Alright, this is the first Google things of the session. It was great to have lasted this long before getting to that point, even though I clearly also was fumbling Kokubunji, and I'm just assuming that, and I feel kind of bad. Alright. What was it? Oh, there you go. Purikura. Purikura. Photo booths. Pronunciation. And I'm getting an ad. Parikura. Parikura. Alright. Somebody once asked me to join them in Parikura. Oh, jeez. Photo, which allows you to play around with your appearance. I hadn't much experience with Purikura, and wasn't familiar with its latest developments. So, when the screen said, make a heart shape together, I frantically tried to hold my hand in the shape of half a heart. The client stopped me. We won't bother with that, she said. She was more interested in having me as a bit of background. Again, anonymity was what the client was after. Anyway, it was good fun. Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. The other day, I went to meet a client at the agreed location. She She'd told me she'd be wearing a long, bright skirt, so when I saw someone dressed like that, I went up and said hello. But it was someone else, and they walked straight off. When I have a client appointment, I always introduce myself by saying, "Hello, I'm rental person." I guess it would be quite unsettling to have a stranger come up and say that if you're not expecting it. Dad, I feel like I have to make a bit of a tough decision here. Not very happy with how I've been reading this. All right. We're going to keep going, warts and all. That's part of the appeal. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this. So, I'm going to take a drink of water. If you are listening right now, maybe you're watching this in the background while you work on something far more important. Give yourself a moment to just grab a nice, refreshing beverage, preferably water. You know, not to be a water fanboy, but, in this situation where you're trying to relax, water is typically your best choice. So, now I'm going to take a deep breath as well. And I'm going to keep reading. I've been pretty stressed out. I've been really stressed out. And that's part of the reason why I'm here. Because this book, it makes me feel good. This is a book that makes me feel oddly better. Twitterbird at Morimoto. Stick with it. Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. The other day, I went to meet a client at the agreed location. She'd told me she'd be wearing a long, bright skirt. So when I saw someone dressed like that, I went up and said hello. But it was someone else, and they walked straight off. When I have a client appointment, I always introduce myself by saying hello. I'm rental person. I guess it would be quite unsettling to have a stranger come up and say that if you're not expecting it. I always wear very ordinary clothes that don't make any statement. A plain t shirt or sweatshirt with jeans or chinos. Alright, we're going to look up that word. See, I don't even know if this is a foreign word. Chinos. Chinos. Hey, I had it right. Hooray! Alright, come in here, wiggle around, make sure I don't get kicked. I always wear very ordinary clothes that don't make any statement. A plain t shirt or sweatshirt with jeans or chinos. If there's anything to mark me out, it's that I always wear a cotton cap. After I'd been wearing it for a while, I realized that it makes me look like a workman. I never used to have a cap. I began wearing one in May 2018, about a month before I started this do nothing service. I suddenly thought I'd like to try one sometime, so why not now? I wandered into a headgear shop in Kichijoji. Alright. Do do do. Not too pronounced. Oh no. Oh, it's at the very top of the page. I'm like, where did it. Kichi Joji. Kichi Joji. Kichijoji. The text to speech is like really speeding up that first part, and it's scaring me. Whew, brr, shivers. And the shop assistant suggested the type of cap I now wear. I put the cap on and set off home. It felt good. I'd never liked Kichijoji much, but because the streets. Oh, there's no but. I just manifested a bud. I I manifested it, but I didn't. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be suggestive with that statement. I put the cap on and set off home. It felt good. I'd never liked Kichijoji much because the streets get so crowded. That day, though, I felt more comfortable than usual. I think one reason was that I wasn't bothered by people looking at me. I could see the brim of the cap above my eyes and felt as if that was blocking out people's gaze. I know that in a crowd like that, nobody was really going to look at me. But self consciousness is difficult to control. Another disadvantage of the cap was that with the restricted field of vision, I could be more introspective, hiding away in my own world. Okay, put the book down, put the controller up into my hands, and we're moving. Chat, for the first time in this game, we are moving. Oh, there's a launch pad here? It's actually kind of useful. Ooh, I see that. Hey. Please, please let me live this. No! Isn't this invigorating? Isn't this exciting? Isn't this thrilling? I didn't even leave the sea, really. I mean, I kind of did for a few seconds. I should have just kept onwards. Well, you know what this means, chat? More reading! Yay! Ugh. I think this easy introspection and the sense of freedom from people's gaze helped me to be honest with myself, to face up to the feeling that I wanted to do nothing. Saying that, I may be overplaying the role of this cap, but it was certainly very soon after buying it that I hit it. Okay. Very but it was certainly very soon after buying it that I hit on the rental person idea. So perhaps the two things are related. I'm sure that feeling free from people's gaze helped me to move on. And looking back now, the fact that the shop I happened to go into was called Moo feels like a bit like fate. So this is a part that's kind of hard for. I'm going to transcribe, the written word into a description of the written word. There is a piece of Japanese language. It might be a kanji, it might be a katana. I don't really know. And then in parentheses it says mu, comma, nothing. So he bought the cap from a store called Nothing. What the word for nothing in Japanese, Great cough. My cap has been surprisingly useful since I started this do-nothing service. Aside from the obvious practical functions of warmth, protection from wind and rain, and hiding unruly hair, it also serves as something for people to look out for when they are meeting me, and best of all, it makes me look like a workman or delivery man. Cap-wearing delivery staff are a very common sight in Japan, and though of course I'm not wearing a complete uniform, I think my cap helps clients relax. I feel it gives a reassuring formality to our relationship, which is nice for me too. Although they don't know me at all, it's as if there is a kind of manual allowing them to handle the situation with minimal communication. And when the job's over, I just go home, like any workman. So, I think I was very lucky that the first bit of headwear I bought. Okay. Stopping mid sentence, not even finishing the paragraph here. Where do I go? Where should I go? Should I go here, here, there, everywhere? Hmm. I think I'm gonna, even for just a change of scenery, I think I'm gonna land here instead. Look at all these ribbons. Wake me up inside, wake me up inside, save me. Sorry, y'all did not, you did not ask for that. I'm sorry. Okay, where's the spot a little bit more out of sight? Like I'm gonna stick out like an eye sore thumb. Oh, okay, well. Oh, and there's footsteps, even better. Alright. Maybe. Oh, sweet. Mission. Give me XP. Nope. I think we're good to just chill here, yeah? I hope so. Chat, would it be weird if I fished in my own game? Just took a fish break right now. I actually want to. I'm going to do it. You gotta go. Casting a line. Ooh, I got something. Oh. Guys, I got a strange vase. Would you look at that? Wow. Whoa, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't. Okay. Well, back to the book. Okay. And when the job is over, I just go home, like any workman. So I think I was very lucky that the first bit of headwear I bought wasn't a hat, a beanie, or a baseball cap. Just a work cap. And for me, the cap is useful if I want to block out a client's gaze or to shut down completely. So, although it may not be very polite, I don't take the cap off even when I introduce myself to clients. Or perhaps I'm so reliant on it that I'm embarrassed to take it off at all. Ooh, I see that. I see footprints approaching. You don't see me. You don't see me. You don't see me. The footsteps have stopped, but I don't think I saw them walk away. Okay. I think we're good. Did I hear footsteps again? Chat, I swear, I look down, and the next thing you know, it's footprint. And look, guys, it's already time to go. Would you look at that? Okay. Look at us walking the simple path. Walking the Fortnite Battle Pass. Ooh, a crown dropped. Maybe I could use that, chat. This one's definitely on the train. Car. That's perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive the car to a nice leisurely spot. Maybe somewhere out of sight. Maybe somewhere even, I don't know, out of mind. And we're gonna drive it there. And then we're gonna park it there. And then we're gonna go, actually, we're gonna drive at this person and honk. Oh no. Oh no. I was just trying to honk. Like that. Is that shield bubble? Okay. Good. Another item I can actually use. Alright. So now, I'm going to do this for the XP. Wait. Yeah, that's not a good hiding spot. More minis. Alright. It's crazy the turnaround we had, right? Like, we went from reading pretty much the entire match to reading next to none. I'm not too upset by it. It's good to have a little change of pace. Okay. Maybe there's a car over here. I really need a movement option. Hey, that'll do. That's not bad. Not terrible. Another car here. That's okay. That's good. Is that a... I almost didn't see that. Okay. Oh, sweet. I get to reload my weapons faster. Golly gee! Okay. Honk, 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 honk. Ooh. Ooh. Brake core? I wouldn't mind a little brake core. Oh, it's this song. I know this song. Tegan Rogers. Hi, welcome to the stream. You know, I just realized my stream name is just called Miku Time. And, you know, I am Hatsune Miku. But then I just realized that anybody tuning into the stream doesn't know about the other half of the fact. They probably see maybe Fortnite and they see Hatsune Miku. They could put that part together. I'm staying up. Do you have any tips for me? I'm 10 and my dad is asleep. Stay in school. Stay in school. You know, that's not to come off as rude, but I would say stay in school. Which, sorry if it's a little dry in terms of advice. It's just a thing where it's like, well, what do you need advice on, huh? Keeping friends, talking to people, living life. You know, making sure you won't regret everything. Okay, well, I'm getting a little too... a little too much for a 10-year-old. Alright. I am trying not to die. So one thing with me playing Fortnite, this might be lame. Someone of your stature might find this lame. I'm trying to play ranked Fortnite without hurting anybody. I have school in one day. I don't have friends awake. Yeah? Well, like, then again, like, I just, you know, it's good that you have school in one day. I died. I just realized I died. Okay. But welcome to the stream. Playing Fortnite. If it ain't obvious. I'm trying not to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to play pacifist. See, you see 0 eliminations? You know, in fact, I'll even go all the way back to the lobby. And look at all the times I leveled up. Probably once. Twice if I'm lucky. It's fun watching people play 0 or O subbed and liked. I subbed. That's probably what you mean. Awesome. I'm just playing. I'm playing ranked without attacking anybody. So if we go to stats, go to ranked on 0 build. Look at that. Gold 2. Gold 2 with literally 0 eliminations. And that's the goal. I want to see if I can push. Like, I want to see how far I can push. And it's a bit boring to do that. So you can't see this because there's no webcam. But I'm also holding a book. And I've been reading a book to my chat. And it's a memoir. I don't know if you're old enough to know what a memoir is. But it's a memoir about a guy whose job it is to go and do nothing. He just goes and he stands next to people as they do whatever they're doing. So, very odd stream. Very odd stream. Which, you're on the YouTube. If you were on Twitch, if you went to my Twitch chat, you could type in !fish, and you could actually fish on this little mini game I have over here. Which here, I'll do it for you. Look at this. !fish. Whoa! I saw the clown casted a line. What'd I get? Ooh, a Moorish idol. Nice. Yeah, so you can have that fish. We can pretend you got that fish. Kind of reminds me of the dude with the scar in Finding Nemo, which I'm pretty sure that's the same species, but I'm also stupid. I don't know about you. I'm a little stupid. Alright. Hope you're having a good one, pal. So what do you want tips on, by the way? I can't just... That's like... !fish. It doesn't work on YouTube. It does not work on YouTube, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I don't think there's the support in the game. I'll go here. Kappa Kappa Factory. That's cool. Haven't been there. Alright. So this is the book here. I think this easy introspection and the sense of freedom from people's gaze, how to stay awake. By the way, it's okay. Staying awake. The biggest thing that I say is if your body wants to sleep, usually it's best to get some sleep. Because, like, usually if people don't want to go to sleep, it's because they want to do something or they're afraid that they need to stay awake for something. And the thing that happens with that is that when your body says it needs to sleep, most of the time it's because it needs to sleep. You know what I mean? And if you're trying to stay awake for something, it just means that you're staying awake for something that you're going to be tired, you know? Like maybe you got something you want to do and like, okay, let me go this way a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Right there. Maybe, if you're trying to sleep, hmm. Let's say you theoretically like you're trying to stay awake because you're supposed to do something with friends later. Like if it's like at 30 minutes, an hour or two, yeah, sure. But like if you have 3 or 4 hours and your body's like, man, I'm sleepy, I'm tired, like take a nap. Allow yourself to get the rest because when your body like if you're trying to stay awake and your body's sleepy, usually it's sleepy for good reason. And then from there, that's the catch-all response. But then it's like, okay, Isor, I get it. Please tell me, like, give me tips on how to stay awake. How I would stay awake is that a lot of it is trying to convince your body that it still is wide awake. That's by making sure you're drinking water. When you stay hydrated, it helps your body have that energy. When you have that energy, you feel more awake. That includes like getting up and like just walking around a bit for every once in a while. So like if I was trying to stay awake and I was staying awake playing video games, I would make sure that like every once in a while I just get up and walked around, just kind of allowed my body to kind of get this jolt of energy. Two, this is the worst piece of advice in terms of your well-being, but in terms of like, cutting it straight with you, if you're trying to just stay awake, I would avoid looking at the clock because a great example is that a lot of times when you stay up without noticing, you'll look at the clock and you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, it's 2 a.m." And um when you have that reaction where you go, "Oh my gosh, it's later than I thought." It's almost like your body immediately just starts kicking into gear like, "Hey, you need to go to sleep. Oh, you're tired. Oh, you're sleepy." And it produces the sort of chemicals, the melatonin, the yada yadas that make you sleepy. So that's another advice is to avoid the clocks. But like that also goes into like why are you trying to stay awake? Because if you're trying to stay awake to like do something with somebody or to watch something or to go somewhere, if you're not paying attention to the time, you're going to miss it. You very well could miss it. You could, if you're trying to make sure you're not late to something, so you're staying up so you don't sleep in that, like, you could miss it. Then it defeats the purpose. So you got to be a little careful with that clock strategy. Um, hmm. The biggest thing I would say is that if for whatever reason you need to stay up, make sure you're drinking water. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. You have things like energy drinks and caffeinated beverages and stuff like that. Because, coffee, soda, energy drinks, those things, they're energy drinks. They give you energy, they help you stay up. But the caffeine also dehydrates you. And if you're dehydrated, you don't feel good. If you don't feel good, you may want to go lay down. You may want to go get some rest. And then the caffeine in your system is going to make you have poor rest. So, on top of anything, just drink water. Drink water. Just try and get up, be a little active. And, that's the best way to stay awake. Now, if you're staying awake because you don't want to have to go to school tomorrow, or like whatever the hell that is, sorry, gotta watch my tongue. I would recommend, if you're sleepy, get some rest. Because if you're trying to just game, like you're just trying to enjoy some time to yourself. Oh, don't put a flashlight at your eye. Oh, don't do that. That's bad. That's actually that might actually hurt you in the long run because like yeah, it's stimulating your eyes, but um that's going to damage your eye. That's going to damage your eye, buddy. What I would recommend Like if you're wanting something like that, you're wanting something to like have your eyes look at, the best thing you could do, turn on the light if you can, have the lights on in your room, and then look at something like a screen. Because the light emitted from a screen, this is the cool part. This is something kind of cool. Um, this is a piece of advice that I usually use if somebody's asking, how do I go to sleep sooner? The screens on your phone, your PlayStation, your TV, any of those digital screens, they produce blue light. Especially right now. Look at this. Look at all this blue. Look at Hatsune Miku. Look at the cloud of the storm. All this stuff is blue. When your brain processes the fact that your eyes are seeing this sort of blue light, your brain actually associates that light with that of the sky. You know, you go outside, the sky is blue. And that tricks your brain into thinking that, hey, it is daytime right now. Daytime, I should still be energized. I should still be producing energy. I should still be trying to be active. And so, um, when you do that, that's actually a way to like kind of trick your brain into trying to stay awake more. Now, flashing a flashlight at your eye, that is like staring into the sun. That's just gonna hurt your eyes. Don't do that. I wouldn't recommend doing that because like even even doing that, I mean, I don't want to be mean here, but like you're just gonna hurt your eyes, and what's gonna happen is your eyes are gonna lose moisture. Oh, let's go, Elwash. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm currently uh, trying to give this kid advice. What'd you get? You got a mug. Congratulations. When you shine a light like that at your face, like you're just gonna hurt your eyes, and if your eyes are hurting, they're gonna require more like energy and moisture and stuff to like rejuvenate, and then your eyes are just gonna feel sore, which is really funny to say, considering my username, considering the name I go by, eyesore. Ha ha! Poke me with sticks, beat me to death with hammers. Um, so doing that, it's just gonna make your eyes hurt. And if your eyes need to remoisturize, you know what the best way for your eyes to remoisturize is? It's to close your eyes. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna close your eyes, and then what happens when your eyes start to close? You're gonna start feeling sleepy. But realistically, that's about all the advice I could give in terms of trying to stay awake. But what I will also say is this: if you don't really have an important reason to stay awake, like maybe you just want to have some time to yourself, or maybe like you don't want to have to deal with what you have to deal with tomorrow, I would really recommend just trying to get rest. I also need sleep, so I'm gonna go low. Another fish. I wonder. I think there's a cooldown on how often you can fish. But sorry, I got distracted. I would really recommend, if it's not anything important, to just get some rest. Try and get a fresh start at the day tomorrow, because there's always going to be time for that. You know, I thought if the sun is daytime, so I thought I might trick my brain into think it was daytime. Oh, yeah, like that sort of logic can work, but like it it will ultimately it will ultimately how do I put this? It'll ultimately do more harm than good. And the thing I was talking about with phone screens, TV screens, digital screens, and with the blue light, that is how you can achieve that without permanent retinal damage. So if you want to try a strategy like that, your best bet is to just look at. Yeah, also doesn't staring at. Yeah, Elwash, thank you for chiming. I had told this viewer that, yeah, like, just look, if you're trying to stay awake, stimulation is key. Hydration and stimulation is key. And I know I'm repeating myself a lot here, but I'm repeating myself because it's true. Like, I I'm probably going to stay up a little too late tonight because after I'm done with this stream, I'm going to turn around, whip it around, put it into a video editor, and try and post it on YouTube. And because of that, some of the tactics I'm telling you now, I'm going to put into use later. So that's funny. But realistically, if you're trying to use like light as a way to help your brain be tricked into trying to stay awake, just watching something is going to do a great trick. It's going to do a great deal in helping you achieve that. Shining a flashlight at your eyes, it's just going to... It's going to suck. It's going to suck. Speaking of sucking, this was horrific driving. Jesus. I can't even flip it out. There we go. I can sit here. You're a saver. Well, I gotta be doing something with my time. I mean, surely I'm not playing a lot of game here. Top 15 and I just got out of the water. But yeah. So that's all of my advice. And I'm gonna repeat myself one more time. My ultimate advice would to be I'd spend way too much time on my phone a lot. It's become a normal thing for you to stay up this late. Well, drifting to you here, Elwash. What I would tell you is that you get yourself a deadline. That's the time you go to bed. You're like, I don't care if I'm sleepy or not. I'm going to lay in bed at this time. Let's see if I can trick the fish game. You might be able to. Like, if you tried and did, like, !fish, but then don't put the emote or anything. Just do that. Maybe you can trick it. But, now back to you, dear Twitch viewer, Elwash. Like, get a time that's your dead set, I'm going to lay in bed with the lights off at this time, and then rewind an hour from that point, put your phone away. Like, if you have anybody you're talking to saying, hey, I'm going to start my bedtime routine, talk to you tomorrow, or if you're trying to watch YouTube, watch all the YouTube you want before that hour point. But once that happens, you put that phone down, you get off the TV, you don't play any video games, and you go read a book, you draw, you can just sit, meditate, take a shower, brush your teeth, go for a walk even. I don't think it's working. Here, Tegan, here's what I'll do. I'm just going to type it in, and just like the first one, we'll pretend that it's your fish. Yeah, that put the phone away thing I need to do. Trust me, it works wonders. Now, if you have, like, terrible insomnia like me, you might have to do a little bit more than that hour screen time thing. But if you just have like a little bit of an issue, I've been in bed since 7. Yeah, dang. You really, like, if you're someone who struggles to go to sleep in your bed, one of the things that I do that help me is I lay in bed for like 15 minutes. And in that 15 minutes, no screen time, no stimulation. I'm just trying to rest. And then if I'm not asleep in that 15 to 20 minutes, I get up, I go grab some water, I read a book for 10 to 15 minutes, and then I go lay back down. That's something that is a little weird, but it can help me if, like, I just get in a rut with my brain where, like, I just start, like, spinning in a circle and overthinking late at night. But yeah, if you're having these sort of sleep issues, like, as someone who, like, in middle school and high school, I can Get me out of here! I forgot I'm playing Fortnite, chat. I forgot I'm playing Fortnite. If I if I'm someone who's having that sort of issue of like winding down and trying to go to bed, you got the biggest and hardest part is just putting the phone away. Like, you have to do that. Like, it is the hardest part, but it's the most necessary part. Because the things that I was telling Tegan to help keep you awake, that's just gonna keep you awake when you're trying to sleep in your situation. And if, like, doing that, and then, I just took fall damage for no reason. Doing that, as well as, like, I would recommend not having caffeine 3 to 4 hours before bed. Like, if you have any, like, light insomnia, or you just struggle to go to bed and there's not a big fancy diagnosis that you could put on it for yourself or by someone else, those two things, biggest thing. Well, got to go, and I will come back sometime, and I want to say thank you. All right. Hey, it's been great having you. I hope you stay I hope you stay awake, or you get the rest that you need. Like, I hope whatever's best for you happens for you. You have a good one. The dopamine I get from doom scrolling. That's true. One thing I do, I only have social media. I only have social media on my computer. Like, I have a really bad Twitter and or X everything app problem, where I'm always wanting to just scroll and scroll and scroll on that. I just don't even have it on my phone. So if I want to scroll through Twitter or through Instagram or this and TikTok or this and that, I have to get up. I have to go to my computer and look at it there. Ooh. I think the only thing I really have on my phone is Discord. But the only reason I have Discord on my phone is because it's my communication. Like, I use it as a messaging app as much, not really as much as social media. But even then, I have self-discipline to just not scroll through Discord when I'm trying to go to bed. That's the biggest thing. Like, if you feel like an hour without a screen is just way too much, you could even start with like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and then just see if you feel any different when you try to rest. You know? Like, if you're a shower at night person, like, an hour before bed, take a shower, do all your bedtime routine. After you do your bedtime routine, just read a book, read a comic. Just, do something. Just go walk in the wide open. Get shot to death. Just do something where you're not looking at the screen. And I assure you, like, maybe not the first night, but like over the next few days, you'll notice there's a difference in your body, like, getting ready for sleep. It's the hardest part. But like, the thing that made it difficult for me is that I would sit there and I go, well, if I don't doom scroll now, or if I don't watch YouTube now, or if I don't play video games in that hour of time, that's an hour of time that I remove from my life to do the things that I enjoy. And that's the thing that scared me the most. But what I came to realize is that when I did that, holy moly, I felt so more well rested. I felt so much more productive. I felt so much more energized. And when I had those things, even if I had the time, even if I technically had less time to do the things I wanted to do, I was doing those things better because I was in a better place physically, mentally, emotionally, because of the rest that I was getting. So that's my advice. Let me look what the cooldown on that fish thing is, because Like, if I had a crap ton of viewers, I could understand. Okay. Here, I'm gonna do 60 seconds. It's 120. I've tried to chest and use melatonin and NyQuil as a way to stop the cycle, but it didn't work after the first night of trying it. Yeah. Cheat. Oh. Yeah. No. Those those quick fixes, they're quick fixes. Like melatonin, I only use melatonin on like days that I need to wake up super early in the morning. And I just can't sleep. And then when I use melatonin sparingly like that, like it really helps me in that moment. But then if I were to keep using it every day, my body would just adjust to it, you know? And then let's say if I use it as a cheat code to just get one good night's rest, what would happen is the next day, it'd be really hard to go to sleep because I didn't have those the melatonin and the NyQuil, the chemical reactions in my brain telling me to go to sleep quicker. So then it just kind of backfired. So you really just got to take those first steps. I'm just going to say, you just got to take those first steps. And it sucks. And it sucks. Because, especially if you're someone who's like young or you're you're a gamer. Because when you're a gamer, like it's pretty easy to want to just wind down the night on a screen, whether you be gaming or scrolling on Instagram and stuff like that. But like, especially if you have friends who are the same way, you know. Also, melatonin doesn't really work for me. I tried to up the dosage, but it didn't do anything. For me, melatonin gives me like extreme night terrors, and so I kind of stay away from it for that reason. But yeah, you just got to do that. Like, trust me, it's difficult, and it takes self-discipline and it takes effort. But if you do that and you stick to it, you try your best to stick to it, it helps so much. It helps so much. Anyway, one thing I've been doing, I'm reading a book. I'm reading a book while playing Fortnite, by the way. And I haven't done that for a decent portion of the stream because I was talking about helping Tegan Rogers. Probably shouldn't have your full name as your YouTube. I was giving a kid advice to stay up, where this kid was flashing a flashlight at his eyes. That's, I want to judge. I want to judge someone for that decision making, but if I were that old, I would be doing something even stupider. So I can't be too judgmental. But I've been reading a book, and that's why I'm kind of doing this pacifism bit. I don't know, maybe you've been here before. Maybe you've seen me and Chaz do it. But I'm going to park my car somewhere I won't be shot. And then, I don't know, play Fortnite. Maybe if I put like the car here. Get some shield items. That's good. Good. I did not mean to do that. Pardon my cough. Also, I did shorten the cooldown on the fish to every 60 seconds, so you can fish once per minute. And also, I will say, you're able to add custom catches to the game, like custom items that could be caught from the fishing line. And I may have made the rarest possible catch just a picture of Cannon Red. So, you could fish for fish, simply put. Oh yeah, corn. There you go. Cast that line, baby. Woo! What you gonna get? You got the streaked spine foot. Congratulations. I don't know if you were in the chat when I talked about this. I bought this drunk. I got blackout drunk on margaritas one night, and I woke up the next day, and I had this game in my Steam library. I just feel like the world needs to know that. Anyway. If you're trying to get some sleep, I suggest you go do something else for the night. You know, maybe read a book or a manga or a comic or I don't know, like clip your toenails. Just do something casual, you know? Like you deserve good rest. And unfortunately, the most important thing you can do to get good rest, you bought the fish game drunk. Yes, I did. The most important thing you can do to get rest is to take care of yourself, unfortunately. I hate that. Or, actually, oh, you bought me. No, no. I could have. But if I hadn't, I would have also. That is a decision I would have made sober. That's a decision I would have and I had made sober. Anyway, I think it's about time that I get back to my reading of Rental Person Who Does Nothing, a memoir by Shoji Morimoto. Page 52. I think this easy introspection and a sense of freedom from people's gaze helped me to be honest with myself, to face up to the feeling that I wanted to do nothing, saying that I may be overplaying the role of the cap, but it was certainly very soon after buying it that I hit on the rental person idea. So perhaps the two things are related. I'm sure that feeling free from people's gaze helped me to move on. And looking back now, the fact that the shop I happened to go to was called Mu, the Japanese word for nothing, feels a bit like fate. My cap has been surprisingly useful since I started this do-nothing service. Aside from the obvious practical functions of warmth, protection from wind and rain, and hiding unruly hair, it also serves as something for people to look out for when they are meeting me. And best of all, it makes me look like a workman or deliveryman. Now watch, I'm going to stop this right here. Reading this made me think of one last thing I could give as like a little advice, a caveat, if you will. If you're someone, like you're laying in bed and you just feel uncomfortable, like in that silence, in that nothingness, and that's part of the reason why you doom scroll or you go to Twitch and look up this random ass clown streamer. One thing that I do that I stopped doing, but I kind of forgot about it. If you're someone who likes listening to music, listen to some music. Like get some soft music and then just turn it down where it's not too loud, but it's not too quiet. And just let yourself go to sleep to that. Because, you know, you don't have to deprave yourself of stimulation when you're trying to go to sleep. But you just have to make sure that it's something that is helping you wind down instead of wind up. If that makes sense. You know. So like I don't know. Hearing something is a lot different than seeing something that's a bright light, I guess. Cap-wearing delivery staff are a very common sight in Japan. And though, of course, I'm not wearing a complete uniform, I think my cap helps clients relax. I feel it gives a reassuring formality to our relationship, which is nice for me too. Although they don't know me at all, it's as if there's a kind of manual allowing them to handle the situation with minimal communication. And when the job's over, I just go home like any workman. Something not overstimulating? Well, overstimulating is when it's something is too stimulating for the stimulation you want, right? That's like if, you don't like fluffy things and then somebody wearing a fur coat just comes and grabs you and like shakes. That's such a weird thing to say. Someone just like does that. You want something not too stimulating, Not something overstimulating where it's too much stimulation for you in a normal state of being, just something that's not too stimulating, period. Does that make sense? Because, like, me watching someone play Fortnite, that's stimulating. It's not overstimulating, because at no point am I going like, oh, this is too much. My ears are starting to hurt, or I'm like, I feel uncomfortable. I'm getting goosebumps. Like, you want to avoid something that's too engaging. Does that make sense? Like, if you're listening to an album that you've already heard before, and is a bit softer and a little bit more smoother and a little bit hums and haws, if you're listening to something like that as you're trying to rest, there's nothing, you're just kind of with it. You're not really there for it. Like, I think of the thing I would think is that, like, there's a lot of people who like to watch TV when they go to sleep. And that can be a double-edged sword. It depends on the person. Some people, like, one person I can think of is my mom. She loves trying to go to sleep while watching TV. The TV is something to, like, maintain her mind while she's trying to sleep, and eventually she just dozes off. But someone like me, or my dad, for example, the TV is there. Our brain is focused on it. Our brain is focused on it, and I think one example, I was 10, 11, 12. I had to go stay at my cousin's house. And my cousin had a TV in their room, and they were watching Disney Channel to go to sleep. And the entire night, I couldn't sleep because there was just Phineas and Ferb, Phineas and Ferb, Phineas and Ferb. And they were all episodes I've seen before, but my brain was still, like, locked in on trying to experience that stimulation. And it wasn't something that was used to help me rest. It was something that was used to keep me awake. And so you have to understand how that works for your body. Very clearly, the things that you do in bed are stuff that is keeping you up and is stimulating you too much for that environment. So, like, maybe try compromising with yourself in a way where, like, well, how can I get that stimulation, but it's not something that is engaging me, and it's not something that I'm focusing on. And a lot of people, that can be music, especially if you're someone with, like, ADHD. Music is typically my go-to. Like, before I had, like, when I was a kid, I just turned on the radio. But now, the day of smartphones and such, you could just put on Spotify or YouTube Music, whatever you use. For me, I have, like, a playlist that's dedicated to something a little bit more softer and minuscule, not too loud. Oh god. Oh god. I do not want to get hit by a car. Okay, I'm not going to get hit by a car. A great example, like, there's this album by George Harrison called All Things Must Pass. That is my go-to album if I need something to listen to while I try to go to sleep. What I do is that if I play it on my phone, I start playing the music before I get in bed. I put a sleep timer, because most music players have sleep timers now. And then before I even walk in the room, I have the music going. I have the volume I want. I have the playlist I want. And then walking into the room, my phone is off. The screen is off. I put the phone face down on my bed. I get into bed. And the moment I am into bed, I cannot touch my phone. And I just let that playlist coast off. It'll stop playing at some point. And that's something, like, if you're someone who feels like they need stimulation, that's something you could do. I'm trying to think of other things. I had a therapist who recommended me, like, whale noises. Like, you can see that a lot. Like, people who go to sleep with whale noises. It's a corny thing, but that sort of white noise stimulation could exist in different types of noise. I have a friend, I swear to God, when I was in high school, I had a friend who would come over and he'd kind of make a little cot on the floor, lay down to go to bed, and then he would get a 10-hour long video of an AC from YouTube, like an air conditioner, just going vrrr, making air conditioner noise. He would take that, he would play it, he would turn it down to a very minuscule volume where you could hear it, but it's not really that much. He would put that face down, and then he would just go to bed like that because he said he needed the noise to help him go to sleep. So if you're someone who finds yourself gravitating towards your phone or the TV or Smash Bros while trying to sleep, that's one thing you can do where you're not denying yourself that stimulation while also taking steps forward to not feeling like you need it, if that makes sense. So that's another recommendation. You know what I mean? Okay, don't ram that into the brush. Okay, good. The thing that scares me about when cars drive by is that I'm the kind of player who sees the bush if I'm driving a car and I go, there may be someone in there. I'm going to ram into that thing at full speed. I don't think a lot of players do that, but me, I do that. So whenever there's a car nearby, I just start getting worried. Oh shit, someone's dropping? Oh, it's the boss. You know what? I'm going to leave this spot since it's the boss. Something not overstimulating, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. I think that's all I have to contribute to the sleep thing, you know what I mean? I will say this. Like, someone who... I do all these things, I'm still not perfect. It's impossible to fully dedicate yourself to something like that perfectly. And I know that it's difficult. It's pretty easy to say something and say like, oh, you should do this. But I know that it's a lot harder to turn around and do that something. So it's important to have patience for yourself. But yeah, I'll probably try those things. I'm going to go now and try to sleep. Good luck. Drive safe. Okay, why am I just driving? I was supposed to just find somewhere else, but now I'm just driving around. Oh, oh no. Oh no. That's not good. I don't like that. Surely they let me chill here. Surely I don't get shot in the head, right? Uh-oh. Bye-bye. Hour 17. Ooh, huge. Shark splash. Take the bandages. The thing that scares me is that with that railgun, if someone spots me just vibing, right? Just spot me chilling, relaxing, acting all cool, playing some b-ball outside of school, they could just pop me, you know? They could just pop me like a balloon in the car, and I would be none the wiser. But I think that's just a sacrifice I'm going to have to make. This is a great spot, by the way. That is outside the storm. Back right? I feel like that's the best spot. Okay, let's see where this storm's at. And it's all the way over there. No reading, chat. Readings for babies. Alright. Ooh. A golden crown. How magnificent. Oh no! Bullets being shot into my direction. How... This alluring. Surely I can At least, at least loot this dead body in peace. Yes, yes, I can. Magnificent. Okay. It's been a long time, chat, but I think it's finally time to read. Oh, okay. You know what? No, I gotta celebrate. I gotta exclamation mark fish. That is not how you spell fish. Oh, I'm casting a line. What am I gonna get? Oh, I'm catching something. Scooter! That's awesome. Got a scooter. Reminder chat. You too can fish with exclamation mark fish. Okay. Manua! Sweets. Oh goodness. What'd you get, Manua? You got a trolley. Congratulations. Okay. Top 5 here. Just a heads up. There is a 60-second cooldown between fishing. So every minute, if you really wanted to go at it, you could fish. But yeah, we're doing the chapter 2 of the book read along. I hope you're having a good one, Manua. I hope you're taking care of yourself. It's crazy. I kid you not. I had a young gentleman or gentlewoman or gentle. I had a kid. I don't really care I don't care if it's he, she, or them. I had a kid coming in here. It's like, hey, do you have any advice for staying awake? Oh god, please don't shoot at me. I'm Hatsune Miku. Oh. Okay. That's probably for the best. I was excited to get out of that match. I had a kid who come in. It was like, "Hey, can you give any tips to try to stay awake?" And he was telling me about how he shined a flashlight at his eyes to try and keep himself awake, which I quickly let him know how bad of an idea that is. And then a mutual, Elwash, came in and started talking about how he's having trouble going to sleep. And so I was basically giving both of them advice. I think, the kid was asking for advice, and then Elwash's advice was a little unsolicited. I don't know if he was really wanting that advice from me or not, but oh well. It was free content at the very least. It was great. I don't know how long you've been here. I hope you didn't miss it. Okay. We're here to read. We're here to read, chat. And for me, the cap is... sorry. And for me, the cap is useful if I want to block out a client's gaze, or to shut down completely. So although it may not be very polite, I don't take the cap off even when I introduce myself to clients. Or perhaps I'm so reliant on it that I'm embarrassed to take it off at all. Sometimes clients are pleased for me to show individuality when I'm not directly engaged with their request. For example, someone asked me to go with them to a baseball game, and with some time to kill, we went to a cafe. While we were there, the client asked if I'd talk to them about math. I believe that talking about things I know falls within the definition of simple responses, so I started off talking about cardioids and how they explain the curves visible on the cups of tea in front of us. I carried on talking about math and physics for quite a while, and the client seemed to enjoy it, saying, "Don't worry about the game, just keep on talking." When I had run out of things to say, we went to the stadium. The game was already half over, but we still went in and watched the rest. So, from that point of view, I did manage to complete the assignment. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable, though, if people contacted me under the impression or misapprehension that I could do X or Y or knew a lot about Z. If they had that kind of expectation, they'd evaluate me on the basis after meeting me. They'd start saying things like, he didn't know that much, or he wasn't particularly interesting. If people see me as a specific character with a certain set of qualities, then they'll be disappointed when I don't turn out to be what they expect. So, what I really want as a rental person is to have no defining attributes, no good points, no bad points. Opened envelope representing that of a message. Hello, I'm a first-time requester. I'm sorry it's very short notice, but could you manage a request today? I'd like you to come and have an ice cream soda with me in a cafe. I'm thinking somewhere near Shibuya Station. The client was male. Although this request was sudden, his desire for an ice cream soda was longer term. I knew how awkward it can be for a Japanese man to go into a cafe on his own and order an ice cream soda, so I said yes straight away. We sipped our sodas with pride. That's sweet. Where are we dropping? Where are we dropping? Dropping today. Lost Lake. That's cool. I kind of want to drop here on the broken bridge. Oh, it's a broken bridge because of the Godzilla update? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's actually really cool. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come here. I'm going to search all of this stuff. Gonna hope that I don't get shot at by the person on the other side of the bridge. Come on. Why is it all the way over here? Okay, I don't think they're paying attention to me anyway. Oh. Hey, let's be friends. Let's be friends. Ah! Is that a ducky? No, it's not a ducky. Alright, that works. Works for me. So it's actually easy to get to and from each side of the bridge. So a little bit of an oversight for me, maybe. Maybe I should just leave. Oh! Oh my gosh! That person had good aim. I can't even really be upset. Am I going to lose points for that? I probably did. That's okay. Do you think I could get whatever's after this? You think I could get whatever's after this? Probably. I hope so. It's probably platinum, right? As a result of this episode, I developed a reputation for liking ice cream soda. It became part of my personality. Rental person likes ice cream soda. I played up to it for a while, I suppose, writing ice cream soda tweets. When people bought me an ice cream soda, I began to feel that I was drinking it for them, behaving in the way they expected me to. After a while, I got fed up with it, and so I tried to dilute my ice cream soda image, tweeting that I decided to switch my allegiance to lemon squash. I think it's good to tweet about changes like that. It makes rental person seem human. While not having much individuality fits with doing nothing, there's a danger that a complete lack of individuality could end up as a strong identity in itself. So, it's good to have a bit of noise or interference on the line. And anyway, I'd find it stressful to try and be someone with no individuality at all. So, when I tweet about changes or when I use a bit of blunt language, I'm not only trying to stop a fixed character forming, I'm also relieving some stress. And looking at it from a strategic angle, I send tweets about the switch from ice cream soda to lemon squash, or changes to my cap and jacket, and so on, as symbols of changes to the do nothing rental service itself as it evolves. Opened envelope representing that of a message. I am contacting you to ask if you would be prepared to observe court proceedings. The case will be heard in January at the Tokyo District Court. It relates to a civil action, and the defendant is Tokyo University. I look forward to hearing from you. Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. A request to observe court proceedings. The message is from the plaintiff, and Tokyo University is the defendant. The plaintiff complains to have been the victim of academic harassment on the completion of a master's degree. The professor asked them not to continue their studies. They are suing on the basis that they were obstructed in their plans to study for a doctorate. Having to face the professor in the courtroom, they feel it would be a help to have someone in the visitor seats who knows the situation. Let's go to the mountains. Let's just go this way. Let's just glide. Let's just glide on over, you know what I mean? As rental person, I don't have to display individuality, and I don't try to. But when I was looking for a job, even I had to turn a spotlight on my own personality. Filling in forms and having interviews meant trying to sell myself. I had to know what my strong points were and express them in words. I didn't have many friends as a postgraduate, so to fill in application forms, I just referred to a how-to manual. I didn't put in much effort. Even so, writing about my strengths made me feel ill. Think about it for a moment. If someone starts telling you how wonderful they are, it turns you right off. But when you're trying to get a job, that's what you have to do. There's no choice. You identify your good points, call them strengths or personality, then according to recruitment advertisements and websites, you're supposed to build a career around them, working in your own way, doing what only you can do. But is life really like that? That's a good point. I'm going to... There's just a basketball court there. Pool, I guess. Okay, there. I bet this would be a good tree, wouldn't it? Hopefully I don't get shot at. Bad tree. Got it. Bad spot in general. Okay. Gonna have to recover a bit. Ooh, purple bush! Hooray. I don't remember much about what I wrote in the application forms. I think I squeezed out something about giving form to ideas, based on what I'd done in my research at university. It was pure fabrication, really, wrapped up in nice-sounding words. I was already going out with the girl who is now my wife, so I did some interview practice with her as the interviewer. But I didn't enjoy it. I loathe absolutely everything about job hunting. Looking back now, I see that it made me lie a lot. Perhaps that makes me sound like a victim. I think when I was looking for a job, I felt exactly as I do today. That I don't want my identity to be defined by a set of abilities. In a sense, this is at the heart of this do-nothing service. I'd like the world to be one where even if people can't do anything for others, even if they can make no contribution to society, they can still live stress-free lives. This is very important to me because of the gap that exists between the value that I sense in people and the value assigned to them by society. I'll talk a bit about myself. I have an older brother and an older sister, or had in the case of one of them. My brother, the eldest, messed up his university entrance exams and became depressed. He's over 40 now and has never had a job. My sister had a very tough time trying to find the right type of work. She didn't get the job she wanted. It hit her very badly, and she killed herself. Maybe their exam and job hunting failures were not the root causes of their unhappiness. Perhaps they were just triggers that speeded something up or persist, precipitated, mm, precipitated. Oh my goodness, precipitated a decline. When life doesn't go according to plan, stress can make. Oh. Huh. Okay. I don't think that there's anything that can encapsulate the energy of what I'm doing more than reading something really dark and personal, proceeding to struggle on a word, completely killing the tone, just picking it up and moving back along, just continuing what I'm doing. Then Izuku Midoriya runs into the bush I'm hiding in and shoots me in the face. I don't think there's anything that could quite encapsulate what this is more than that. And I don't know what else to say. I think I'm just gonna keep reading. When life doesn't go according to plan, stress can take many different forms, particularly at their stage of life. I was at school at the time. I felt the value of my precious siblings being warped and eroded because of the expectations of society. From society's point of view, were they productive in any measurable way? The answer must be no. I suppose my siblings and I grew up in a relatively carefree environment and never had any major problems to face when we were small. Maybe because of that, we didn't worry too much about developing the skills that society demands. So, when we were exposed to society, we had to try that much harder. My sister's specs as an adult weren't that the companies she applied to wanted. For me, though she had value simply because she was there, gaps like that in their perceived value can be a huge source of stress for anybody who, by society's standards, doesn't seem to be able to do anything. People can die because of the stress of adapting to society, or they can lose every ounce of their energy. I've seen it happen. If people are pressured by society into saying that they have particular abilities, then the true value they have as themselves becomes blurred. If you say you have value because you can do particular things, you will always be judged by established social standards. So I never say I can do anything. And I don't do anything. Hmm. I I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I want to contribute something. I really do. I want to be transformative. I don't want to completely take the piss out of a lot of the things that were just said. And I kind of just nodded my head, honestly. I I wasn't expecting I wasn't expecting such a random turn. I wasn't expecting there to be this, I don't know. Everything before this point had been very introspective, very reflective, very trying to say something about the things of the greater universe. And there is this sort of sentiment about talking about what it means to be oneself with in this sort of act of not being anybody at all. And then all of a sudden he just says, I think I'll say something about myself. And then just drops what is a complete bomb of information. What is a complete, just out of nowhere left turn. And then immediately begins to speak back into that introspective, but suddenly in a position where it is correlating to himself. And I think I'm just taken back by it in terms of its random appearance, in terms of the emotional impact of what he talked about, as well as the fact that what he takes away from that situation just speaking such truth. Where I can't help but feel like I can agree with a lot of the things that he's saying in regards to his family situation. And it's just, I guess, just caught me off guard. Kinetic Blade, what the? Oh, this thing? You can have both? Okay, I think I'm gonna drop this one though. I'm too afraid I'm gonna hit somebody with it. Huh. Just, huh. Back to the book. Open envelope representing that of a message. Today I left my 10th job. I feel very negative, like I'll never be able to work again. I thought it might help to make I thought it might help to mark this occasion and go for a hamburger at the place I first work. Would you come with me? Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. Request to eat a hamburger to mark someone leaving their 10th job. The client wants to get over their worries about working in the future. While we were eating our hamburgers, they told me all about the various jobs they had. They looked miserable when their eyes were on the staff. It seems to me I've made my choices in life by a process of elimination. This means I focus on what I can't do rather than what I can. What doesn't interest me rather than what does. What's painful rather than what's enjoyable. I've narrowed things down by eliminating the negatives, by drawing a line that separates things I can't accept. I form a picture of myself, and then my real feelings become clear. For example, when I decided to order lemon squash at a cafe rather than ice cream soda, this wasn't so much because I wanted lemon squash, but because I was fed up with ice cream soda. When I am clear about what I don't want to do, a plan falls into place. So, by discarding possibilities one by one, avoiding the things I can't do or don't want to do, I've ended up with a life doing nothing. At least for the moment. How many people in the world contribute to society through a job they'd predicted would be perfect for their personality? Even if you manage to come up with a dream of what you want to do, you can't expect much to come of it. Negative reactions like, I can't do it, or I don't want to do it, seem more intuitive, a kind of physical reflex. I think that acting in line with these reflexes is, in one more ways than sorry. I think that acting in line with these reflexes is in some ways a more honest approach to life. Or at least maybe all my judgments about whether something is okay or not, whether to accept or reject a proposal, are based on physical reactions. There's always something physical or instinctive about my decision on rental person's requests. And this type of reflex or instinct works best when I'm faced with something I don't like. When I tweet about these reactions, when I say I don't like this type of thing, I think that's more when my show I think that's when my individuality shows most clearly. Here's a well-known line from a manga for boys. When you talk about yourself, say what you like, not what you don't. Most people treat these as wise words. But not me. It's a line I really hate. I can't stand people who say things like that. What's wrong with talking about what you don't like? People who speak about themselves in terms of what they are. Sorry. People who speak about themselves in terms of what they like are often very vague and dull. They sound as if they're trying. They sound as if they're just trying to make a good impression. People who talk clearly about what they dislike tend to be more interesting. Focusing more on specifics, they're probably more honest, maybe more sincere. Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. A request to eat with a client in preparation for a New Year party with colleagues. The client wants to get used to eating with people. I imagined she must be extremely shy, but in fact, she suffers from a very specific syndrome. When eating with people she's not used to, she develops symptoms such as nausea. She's run out of excuses not to go out with colleagues. Opened envelope representing that of a message. I'm on my way home from the New Year party after you came to eat with me. I managed to tell my boss about my condition. He was very considerate and chose a venue. Okay, I don't like you being over there. Hatsune Miku! You know what? I'm just gonna. Why is it this thing again? Why is it always defaulting to that? Can I not emote here? Okay, I'm just gonna assume that I'm sitting down because I heard the noise. Opened envelope representing that of a message. I'm on my way home from the New Year party after you came to eat with me. I managed to tell my boss about my condition. He was very considerate and chose a venue that made things easier for me. Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. The client with the eating syndrome sent a message to say she'd got through the New Year party without problems. Apparently, having told me about her condition, she'd found it easier to disclose it to people around her, and she received a lot of consideration. She also told me she'd been encouraged by the messages that others with the same syndrome had sent in response to my tweet. A positive effect of Twitter. I guess some people might say that by making decisions through elimination, I'm limiting my own possibilities in life. But in the past, it seemed to me there were too many possibilities. I'm limiting my own possibilities in life. But in the past, it seemed to me that there were too many possibilities. Or I was under the illusion that there were. It was very confusing. In reality, there was almost nothing I could do. But I kept thinking, maybe I can do this, or maybe I can do that. Without having any clear idea what I should do or what I'd be suited to do. By narrowing the scope of possibilities, I began to understand what I wanted, and in the end, realized that my only choice was do nothing. Now, as rental person, I enjoy life and have no conflict with anyone. What possibilities did I think about before discarding them? While at graduate school, I thought I might be a researcher or work my way up in a company. I thought I might win a prize for a novel I'd write in my spare time, or even become a successful comedian. Crazy fantasies like that. Probably the most realistic of these was becoming a researcher. I studied physics for my first degree and went straight to graduate school, where I was in the Earth and Planetary Materials Science group. I'm gonna wiggle my stick. Ooh. Researching earthquakes. I programmed earthquake simulations, analyzing statistical frequency and cycle trends. But it never seemed to me that the research would ever enable people to predict earthquakes. With a pessimistic view like that, I couldn't feel very motivated. And I started believing that if earthquakes couldn't be predicted, then death could come at any time. Although I'm sure everybody has a similar vague anxiety, in my case, it was stronger and more specific. Before long, I had to make a decision about my future. To be a researcher meant staying at university, and I knew there were many more gifted people than there. I knew that there were many more gifted people there than me. And I wasn't exactly gushing with enthusiasm anyhow. In fact, there were lots of reasons not to pursue that idea. I felt myself rejecting it in a physical way. A feeling of aversion and disorientation overcame any desire I had to be a researcher. That's the kind of person I am. Okay, time to move. Hmm. I feel myself kind of attaching. Like, I kind of like attached myself to the words of like, I feel like there were much more talented people there than I am. I'm definitely like, I'm most likely projecting in this sense, but I, I did really hold that sort of sentiment towards myself when it came to schooling or even now with things like YouTube or streaming or anything really. And I'm curious to see where he goes with that sort of sentiment, but basing it off of this first part, I feel like you don't want to have when you measure yourself to when you measure yourself to other people, you don't want to do it in a sense where you are looking down on yourself. Like you don't want to look at somebody who's better at you and go, gosh, they're so much better than me. I could never be as good as they are. I feel like there's a lot to gain from looking at that sort of idea and just completely changing your perspective on it. And that sort of thinking has led me to a lot of beautiful places. For example, if somebody was better than me at art, I used to get really upset because I'm like, they're so talented and I'm just not capable. Like, I can't be that talented. I'm not that talented. I don't deserve to be in this group of people, this group of artists, because I'm not as good as any of them. But instead, I've started enjoying to look at that perspective. Instead, approach it from a place of, this person is better than me. I don't deny that fact. I don't allow myself to say, no, you have your own self-worth and stuff like that. But instead, I look at that thing and I say, if they're able to achieve that, that's something, like, they were able to achieve that with this and that. And, like, if I can emulate that success, almost that sort of sentiment. And as well as being able to understand what they had to do to achieve that, or what they're doing to find that success, and how, like, if they're able to do that, if they're able to be better than you, if they're able to do more than you, that just means that that is a bar that you could achieve. Like, if you're like, oh my god, this person is so cracked at Fortnite, that means that, like, it's possible to be this good at Fortnite. Miku! Friend? Miku? Miku friend? Miku friend? Maybe if I throw a splash at him. No! That's hurting me! No! No! I just watched that Sandy Miku get murdered in front of my very eyes. Oh, that was awful. I'm getting on the bus. Surely no one will shoot at me from the bus. I will say, I believe this chapter ends somewhere in the 70s mark, and we are on page 65. So we are nearing the end of this chapter, and I'm actually going to be able to read the whole chapter today. So that's been great. This has been a great stream. Like, I think this session has been so much better than the first. If not just by the fact of being a little bit more in the groove of things. A little bit more going on, too. Like, I think our fun little diversion from with the two chatters, one from YouTube and one from Twitch, coming together in unity. I think that has been a great little side. I don't want to say side piece. That's weird. Ugh. A side mission. You know what I'm saying? Side mission. That's dumb. I'm very enjoying this. In this chapter, it is continuing to deliver what I want. It is continuing to be engaging. It is continuing for me to be like, huh, that's crazy. Like, it is continuing to just be a wonderful book. An amazing book, really. Okay, I gotta get going. Will you splice all your readings into one video? You know, so kind of / maybe. So what I can say is that I'm going to have all of these readings on YouTube in some shape or form. These will end up as a video on YouTube. And if for some reason I don't use a stream, I will re-record that chapter, or I'll re-record that session. But I think I'm going to keep them divided into chunks and maybe just put them on YouTube. Like that. Because, like, for example, I believe you were here for the last one, yeah. That is up on YouTube on its own little separate channel. It's doing its own little thing. And at some point or another, I'm just gonna like go and update it. Hopefully I didn't give away my position with that. Now, doing like a one video, that might be interesting. It would be a very long video because this book is... Oh, shoot. Okay. Wee! 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 Miku! Oh my god. No, 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 no. No, Miku! Just Miku killing Mikus. You hate to see it. I don't even see what you emote. I did it. GG. Okay. I'm okay with that. Okay, you're spamming it a little heavy. It's starting to come off like a little bit of BM. Anyway, I do plan to... These are going to be on YouTube. Chapter 1 is already on YouTube. And so for people who like actually want to experience the entire thing, start to finish, and me reading the book, it's going to be available. In terms of how it will be formatted, no idea. But I think that's one thing that's exciting about this is that it's kind of an evergreen idea. Like, it's something that people, in theory, it could have a very weird niche audience that maybe could find it and maybe could enjoy it. Like, it, you know, there's plenty of audiobooks out there. There's plenty of people who like just putting on a podcast, putting on an audiobook, but this is something like in between. It's like this amalgamation, this ugly amalgamation, like a festering homunculus that I've unleashed upon the world of these horribly executed ideas that I enjoy making. So they're going to be made. If people are going to watch them, I don't know. But will you splice all your readings into one video? That's a maybe. Will they exist as separate videos for each session, and I'll probably make a playlist that just goes one into the other? That will happen. Will I do both? That might be a good idea. Maybe. I don't know. But I will say is that what I hope for this match is that we get a really good placement. We rank into platinum. I finish the chapter, and we can wrap everything up into a bow and call it here. Because my throat is beginning to get coarse. I have hit the 2-hour mark. And that probably means that this stream will be longer than the first stream, despite it being a shorter chapter. Deep breath. As well as, like, the throat feels coarse, and then, I'm also just tired. I'm tuckered out. I want to go, I want to go do something else. Alright. Let's go somewhere. Let's go do something. Somewhere or another. Dropping down the map. Oh, there's people. Ugh. I think I kind of got lost in my own head. I think I made a poor decision. There's someone already there. Ew. Okay, bike. That's good. Go ahead and pick up some ammo, so no one else can use it. Whoa! I'm gonna come back to that bike. I kind of want to set up on one of these power lines, but like I feel like this is... I'm out of sight, but this is also a place where people might want to actually go, and so if I did that and then someone came up here, that would be bad. Although you could do some pretty funny stuff in terms of like... Come on. Okay, you have to mantle. So with how the mantle goes, it'll want you to go over it, but then if you mantle and then turn 90 degrees, you're going over it, will still be on it. So if I can do that and then... and then just a few more times. Oh god. No, 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 no. Alright, screw it. Where? Drop down. I'm gonna get on the bike. I just need to find somewhere good. So, somewhere good. Nearest bush. Oh, hey, bush. A little too close to the road, but I'll be fine. Before long, I had to make a decision about my future. To be a researcher meant staying at university, and I knew there were many more gifted people there than me. And I wasn't exactly gushing with enthusiasm anyhow. In fact, there were lots of reasons to pursue that idea. I felt myself rejecting it in a physical way. A feeling of aversion and disorientation overcame any desire I had to be a researcher. That's the kind of person I am. Opened envelope, representing a message. Hello. I'm getting divorced. My wife is leaving on Sunday, January 27th. I'd like to mark the event by going to have some soba the following day at Fuji Soba in front of Kokubanji Station. Will you go with me? Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. A request to join someone for soba the day after his wife moved out. He'd seen my tweets about accompanying a woman to file divorce papers, and taking her example, had decided to do something positive to mark a difficult juncture in life. He said he'd chosen Fuji Soba because they weren't pushy. Fuji Soba promotes itself as providing taste. Okay, car check. Fuji Soba promotes itself as providing taste and service you can trust. He muttered something about trust as we finished the meal. I'm happy with this do-nothing service. I think I'm suited to it. As I said before, I don't have much personality, and I'm very ordinary to look at. Neither handsome nor ugly, not too stylish or shabby. I'm just a neutral, harmless figure in a crowd. I also find rental person interesting. I'm curious about things, not very curious, just curious. A broad kind of curiosity, but not a deep-seated one. I receive quite a lot of requests from people with intense and specific interests. They may be devoted fans of some pop idol, for example. I like to find out why they are such big fans when I meet them. I always find myself amazed at their enthusiasm. Personally, I'm not the type. Sorry, I was just looking at the storm. Personally, I'm not the type who has a special interest in particular things. If I'm asked about my interests or hobbies, I struggle to identify them. I could find almost everything interesting. For example, in the last chapter, I mentioned a game event based on an anime I'd never seen. I got a bit fed up with it, and in the end, although going along was absolutely fine. That was a tough start. I'm gonna get a drink of water real quick. I'm starting to sputter out here. Top 30, that's nice. People may be surprised to read something like the following from a customer-facing business owner, but at the at but as the proprietor of this do-nothing service, I didn't find it odd at all. Opened envelope representing that of a message. Hello, I recently opened a cafe. The hours are 11 to 4, but almost nobody comes at 11, so I just can't be bothered to prepare the place for opening time. Would you mind coming at 11 and sitting there quietly drinking something? Thanks. The tea and coffee are very good. No, okay. I'll admit it. I skipped the place because they say it's in Shinjuku, but I was afraid of saying that wrong. So I'm going. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's a zipline. We're fine. We're fine, chat. Or we should be. Alright. Shinjuku. Shinjuku. Ahem. Would you mind coming at 11 and sitting there quietly drinking something? Thanks. It's in Shinjuku. The tea and coffee are very good. I can understand how she feels. It must be a pain opening up when you know there won't be any customers. I'm not good in the mornings myself. When I worked at a company, it always took me a long time to get going after I clocked in. Ooh, that's not the zipline I want to hear. Okay. A little bit of a noisy spot. When I worked at a company, it always took me a long time to get going after I clocked in, so I liked the sound of this request. I arrived 5 minutes before opening time and was a bit worried to find the shutters completely closed. I was relieved to find the request was genuine when the owner came trotting up at 10:58 and we went in. Just after 11, though, a number of customers arrived. That's odd, I thought as I drank a nice cup of cafe au lait. Cafe au lait. Not much point me being here. Okay. Let's keep going. Wait, the bike! Oh my goodness, it's just out of the storm. Ooh, risky for the biscuit. Jeez, I took so much damage from the storm. I don't know if I'm going to recover. Forgive me, yeah. I'm having a lot of songs that are used in TikTok edits stuck in my head recently. Which is funny, because I don't have TikTok on my phone, and I don't use TikTok hardly ever. Only time I really do is if somebody like sends me something, it's like, oh, did you see what I sent you on TikTok? And I'm like, oh, I don't have TikTok on my phone. I guess I'll whip out the desktop version and awkwardly look at it on my giant computer screen while the video is still cropped for that of a phone. But anyway, point is I don't really use TikTok, but I'm still getting like the songs that I hear all the time in TikTok that stuck in my head due to them being just reposted on Twitter. There's still fuel canisters in this game? I want to pick those up, but I don't see a world where I don't cause somebody harm with them. Ooh. Minis. What if I just hide here? Not even in the trash can. You know what? Let's hide in the trash. Open envelope representing that of a message. Hello. I suddenly feel like giving people money. Can I send you an Amazon gift card? Reply at Morimoto Shoji. Hello. Okay. Open envelope representing that of a message. Thank you. Reply. Thank you! Exclamation marks. Twitterbird at Morimoto Shoji. The client suddenly felt like giving people some money, so asked me if he could send an Amazon gift card. I said that would be okay. Of course, and then received a 5,000 yen card. I replied with 5 exclamation marks. A lot of nice things have been happening to me since the start of the year. I don't know why. I tend to get a lot of likes and tweets when I give glimpses of... I tend to get a lot of likes and tweets when I give glimpses of my real self on Twitter. Normally, I write tweets in a detached manner. Though sometimes I express feeling and I am maybe a bit blunt, which triggers a response. I get tweets that read, I didn't realize you were so human. I like you for that. Apparently, one side of humanity is getting excited about receiving a gift card. What am I hearing? I'm getting like an at. I got it. It's the site that I use. That the site that I was using to pronounce words just started spouting things at me. It started spouting like generic commercial music, and then it started spouting Animal Crossing music. I was so disoriented and confused. My apologies. Apparently, one sign of humanity is getting excited about receiving a gift card. Many people described my reaction as cute. I suppose it's not surprising that rental person followers thought I wasn't interested in money, but I think everybody wants money. When I let my feelings slip into tweets from time to time, they tend to become a type of branding. I don't mind this happening, although, as I've said earlier, I consciously try to avoid acquiring a character. One very important factor that makes me suited to the rental person role is that I have a family. This gives people confidence that I am not going to do anything odd. That's what people tell me, so I put the information out on Twitter whenever I have a suitable opportunity. 35 years old, with wife and child. To be honest, when I started doing this do-nothing service, there were moments when I was worried, or hopeful, that a woman I was meeting might come on to me. But, fortunately or not, it's never happened. Somebody once suggested... Oh, that was the trash can. I thought I heard something. Somebody once suggested sex through a DM, so I replied that I was married and wasn't interested. To which came the response, "Get a job, then, dickhead." I wasn't too pleased about that. I thought I might get asked to watch someone masturbate. That hasn't happened either. I have been asked to watch a couple who'd met online having offline sex. I thought it would have met the criterion of not doing anything, so it seemed a possibility, but my wife said it sounded disgusting and asked me not to. So I didn't. Alright, well, that's a little bit of brevity, I guess. And what's a little bit of brevity without a little bit of gravity? Woo! Get it? Because I'm in the air. I'm trying to recover. Alright. Vroom. Vroom. Behold, as I check a different tab. I don't know what to do. I've completely lost every train of thought. I've completely lost every train of thought. I do not know where I'm supposed to go, why I'm supposed to go. I don't even know how I'm supposed to go. Maybe I should go into the circle of protection that will not have me die to storm damage, maybe, perhaps. Although I should lock in. I should lock in. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I have like... I'm so close to just finishing this. Okay, I gotta be careful here. What scares me the most is that as I get higher in rank, I'm gonna have to play against people who are gonna be a lot better at hitting the targets. You know what I mean? Like right now, I could be like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna run across this way. If someone shoots at me, I'm just gonna be like, ah, ah. But eventually, I'm gonna be running into the type of people who can just take me out. And that fears me. I'm scared. I'm cold and dark and alone, and there's a car driving directly at me, and I'm gonna emote at them. Please be my friend. Yo, you have... What are you doing with that emote at? I don't think... I'm just gonna go. If they decide to stab me in the back, they're more than welcome to. Chud! I love you, Chud. You'll never leave my side, Chud. There's gunfire there. I'm just gonna do. If I can break top 5 here, I say, as I proceed to just run into the wide open like there's nothing going on. If I can break into the top 5, I can... Uh-oh. See, if I get higher rank, someone will just kill me there. Like, I'll just die. I love you, Chud. Oh my god, Chud, never change. Just bloop. I just lock in here. There's 8 remaining. I'm about to have to run the storm. I shouldn't even bother trying to get the book going again, because I'm just about to have to run. Holy... I need to come in here. I should just drop here every match. Oh my goodness. Epic. Surely I don't get shot at by someone peeping through the window. That would be awful. Didn't take a lot of damage. A crown! No more crown! Please don't shoot me. Oh god. I love being alive. Ah! That's unfortunate. I think I took damage for being in the same car as them? Or were they shooting at me and they were just being all chill in the window? I don't know. Whatever the reason, it's alright. Oh my god. I'm so close. Okay, we push. One more game. We can do this, chat. One more game. One more game. Twitter bird at Morimoto Shoji. I met someone who recently. Oh, sorry. I met someone recently who, inspired by rental person who does nothing, was operating as rental person who does anything. Apparently, he's already given up because he only got requests for day labor. I'm not. Oh my. Miku, dang! Miku got the blade. Anyway, I'm gonna restart that. I recently. Oh, it's everything's just out of order for me now. Ugh. I met someone who I met someone recently who, inspired by rental person who does nothing, was operating as rental person who does anything. Apparently, he's already given up because he only got requests for day labor. Soon after I started Do Nothing Rental in June 2018, several similarly named accounts appeared on Twitter. One claimed to be good at listening, and another promised to be entirely non-judgmental. It was an interesting experience for me to have imitators. At the same time, I felt uncomfortable. There was something rather false and pushy about the accounts. I told my wife about them, and she said she didn't like the sound of anyone who said of themselves that they were good at listening. I broadly agree. And although I describe these accounts as imitators, I wouldn't say that their approach to listening is the same as mine. Lots of people want me to listen to them, but when I listen, it's always in a passive way. I'm not doing anything, I'm just hearing what they say while I'm with them. But the imitators were promising active listening services. Of course, once this do nothing service was established, an imitator would have to differentiate themselves in some way. And to add a service like that would be to move right away from the basic do nothing idea. It becomes a service like any other in the world, based on doing something. Services and jobs have always been like that. The novelty of do nothing rental was to turn that idea on its head. From this point of view, they're not really imitators at all. There was one Twitter account that copied the idea of doing nothing very directly. It may sound conceited, but I didn't think very much of this imitator. The person didn't seem to have written anything interesting, and I don't think I'd want to meet him. I had a very different reaction when I heard about not this word again. This is from chapter 1 that gave me a lot of trouble. It's Orgoria. I'm burying my fingers into my brow. I'm just tired, Chad. I'm sorry. I don't want to come off disrespectful when I can't get these things right, and that's why I try to make an active attempt to correct myself and educate myself the proper way to say things. Trying to think if there's a way for me to be more prepared for this kind of words that are just completely abstract to me. If there's a way I could prepare myself for future streams, which immediately my brain goes, well, maybe you could try and learn, like, I don't know, I don't know if this is the right term for it, but like Japanese phonics, where you go, oh, these two letters together make this sound or this sound, and I go, that sounds like a lot of work, and not in the sense of like, oh, that's too much work, I don't want to do that. It sounds like a lot of work in the sense of like, I would need to go about, I would have to learn an entire system, an entire way of reading a language or pronouncing a language. And that sounds daunting. Like, I don't like that idea because it sounds daunting. So I'm trying to think if there's something a little bit more achievable. Although maybe just, like, maybe there's, like, a video out there that just covers the basics. You know what I mean? Like, maybe there's just, like, a video out there that just, I don't know, kind of does the simple parts. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all can hear my controller stick. That's probably not good. I may regret turning off the noise gate when I go into editing this later. I might want to pull my own hair out. Only one way to find out. Oh, I kept thinking, like, there's a chest nearby. I hear it. It's the shrine. I mean, especially because if there was a chest, you would... Chud! I'm going to sacrifice you, Chud. I have to give you away to the Chud gods. You're going to a better place. You're going to a better place. A chuddier place. They're trying to stop me. I won't be stopped. Go, my child. Oh. It's about time, buddy. It took you long enough. What does it do? Oh, it works on my squad mates. Okay, that's cool. Good to know. Good to know. Anyway, my Chud son has been reborn. He's a Chud man. Where's that zipline go to? Ziplines are bad. Those are like concentrated points of movement. Like, that's not where I want to be. Now, somewhere like here, it's not terrible. That bush is looking mighty fine, actually. I'm going to that bush. It's a nice little out-of-the-way bush. Okay. If you have not heard of it, I would say Rinshu is a good starting point for Gem. You know, I'll write that down. I'll look it up. Thank you, Manu. I don't know if I would want to go and learn the entire language, but I would want to feel a little bit more comfortable making educated guesses about how I'm supposed to say things. This is how tired I am. I grabbed a pen and paper, and I'm like, as I was saying, I'm going to write that down, Manua. Thank you. I just wrote the word Manua and then circled it. I'm so glad I noticed that, because if I didn't, I'll probably have woken up tomorrow and be like, you know what, I'm going to look into that thing Manua said, and then I'm going to go, oh, I just wrote down Manua and then circled it. All right. I'm going to draw an arrow, and then I'm going to put Renshu, RENSHUU, and then I'm going to put a smiley face. And then boom. Okay. I'm going to look up that word again. Row. So it's Agori. Okay. Gory. Huh. Oh, this was the word that like I couldn't find online, and then I just broke the word up from there. Nope. Okay. Pronunciation. It's a lovely, lovely part. Okay, so I can't even find this word. I did my due diligence, Chad. I'm sorry. There was one Twitter account that copied the idea of doing nothing very directly. It may sound conceited, but I didn't think very much of this imitator. The person didn't seem to have written anything interesting, and I don't think I'd want to meet him. I had a very different reaction when I heard about pro ogor ogoraria. That's the word I'm having trouble with, chat. Pro ogor. Oh my Jesus. Pro ogoraria. Pronunciation pending. The professional guest I mentioned before. I thought he must have some very interesting experiences, and I really wanted to meet him. He had a lifestyle that no one had ever thought of before, and I figured it must have taken a remarkable person to make the idea a reality. That is why he's attracted attention. Actually, I regard myself as his imitator. Opened envelope representing that of a message. I work at a church. I wondered if you would come to church one Sunday. Most people at the church just come on Sundays and go to work or school during the week, but in my case, my place of work is my place of worship too. So my circle of acquaintances is small. You always think things are interesting, so I thought it would be nice if you came to a service. It would be fun for me. I'd be perfectly happy with just simple responses. I hope you think about it. Twitter bird at Morimoto Shoji. Request to go to a church service. Working and worshiping at the church, the client has a limited circle of acquaintances. When I arrived at the church, the client introduced me as Do Nothing Rental. The man at the door said, "You don't have to rent anything, but shall we lend you a Bible?" that's a pretty that's cute. So this looks like this is the natural end to the chapter here. But what follows is this sort of diagram called a rental person day. And it is a series of images and paragraphs correlative to a certain time of what the rental person who does nothing would be doing during the day. So, a lot of the appeal of this section looks like the visual and the design elements and this and that. And I don't think this is something I could capture perfectly just going into auditory recitement. That's a little bit too big of words there, but it'll be fine. So I'm going to do my best to translate. Open envelope representing that of a message. I want you to watch me practicing on a horizontal bar. 9:30 a.m. Meet at South Entrance, Shibuya Station by the Maui figure. Usually I'm meeting people I don't know, so it's normally at a station or a landmark. 9:45 a.m. The client is a new elementary school teacher and is having trouble teaching horizontal bar exercises in PE. She doesn't think she's good at them, but can't practice at school, as the other teachers will see. So practice was in a children's play area in a park. Whenever children came, she stopped and gave them priority, but she managed to get through her practice. Then we sat for a while on the swings. She seemed more confident. 11 a.m. Lunch. Not much time till the next request, so a quick snack. Ate a rice ball while answering DMs. Open envelope representing a message. I'd like you to listen to me talking about the future. 12 p.m. A client from the music world who's reached a crossroads in life. He's moved around a lot and doesn't feel like he has stable relationships with others in the industry. Rental person doesn't meddle in people's futures, so I just listen. Opened envelope representing that of a message. I'd like you to come and see the cherry blossom with me and have a bento meal. 2 p.m. Repeat client asking me to eat a homemade bento box lunch. Like last time, I was given some extra food to take with me. I'm looking forward to having that at home. Reply to DMs on the way to the next request. Opened envelope representing a message. I'd like you to come with me to a temple. 4:30 p.m. The client is moving overseas with her family. As a final memory, she wants me to stand with her as she prays for safety for her household. After watching her, I prayed for my household too. 6 p.m. Home. I've got to do the washing when I get home. And that concludes chapter 2. I believe we read, let me go to the chapters here. So, in the first stream, I'm about to die. I am about to die. In Fortnite. Miku! Miku! I'm tired of watching Miku's die in front of me. This hurts. I can't take it anymore. Ah! That's the kinetic blade. Yeah, that's about it. That's about right. Alright, what are we chatting? Platinum. Yeah, yeah. Look at that chat. Platinum. We're platinum in Fortnite. Oh my god. Anyway, our first stream, we read the foreword and chapter 1, which appeared to be a total of 60 pages. Oh wait, no. Sorry. 30 pages. It's more or less 30 pages, give a few. And then today, we read from page 45 to page 76. So that's another 30 pages. So we made another good progress. And chapter 3 is from page 77 to 121. So it's going to be almost twice as long. Or it's gonna have some additional fluff. All right, I'm really wishy-washy on these estimates here because I just continue to try and simplify things. But the next chapter is called Not Getting Too Close, and I'm actually kind of excited for that one because there's been a lot of emotional depth from his interactions with himself and what he wants in life, and then the interactions he's had with other people. And so that sort of tone and discussion, having that sort of translated into a chapter about boundaries with people, presumably, um, is actually kind of exciting me a little bit. I'm kind of chomping at the bit to get into chapter 3, and that makes me so happy because if you've watched or were here for chapter 1, I was super excited to continue reading into chapter 2, which I said, "Oh, I'll be a day or two from now," and life got in the way, and that day or two became almost a week. And so I would imagine it's going to be a little bit of time before we get to chapter 3, and that's unfortunate. But I am excited to have been here today. I'm excited to have read so much. There's been a lot of laughter. There's been a lot of... There's been a little bit of... There's been some laughter, some sadness, some people... some kids, some alleged 10-year-olds needing advice on whether or not they should be flashing a flashlight into their eyes. It's been great. So thank you for tuning in, whether you're tuning this in live or watching the VOD or watching the recap or whatever shape or form you find. I'm glad to have done it for you guys and for me. That's the thing I love about this, is that I'm really just enjoying this for myself. This is something that I could do for myself if nobody watched. And it's good for me. Like, I feel like at this challenging point of my life, it's good to sit down and to read a book. So, thank you. Peace and love. iSoar signing out. Drive safe. Beep beep. Have a good night, Manua.